What is up, guys? It's Tom here. Welcome to my Champions League semi-final draw reaction video. What did you think of the draw? Let me know in the comments below, and also vote on the YouTube card who will be the two teams that will contest the Champions League final. And I'm incredibly hyped, incredibly excited, because Liverpool will play AS Roma in the Champions League semi-finals. Sadly, the second leg will be in Rome, but the first leg will be at Anfield, and on the other tie, Bayern Munich will play Real Madrid, and Real Madrid will play the second leg at home. And my prediction is a Liverpool-Real Madrid Champions League final. But guys, this is just a dream draw for everybody concerned. Let's not take Roma lightly, because they have not conceded a Champions League goal at home this season, and they have beaten Chelsea 3-0 at home. They have beaten Barcelona 3-0 at home. But the good news is that Roma have only won once away from home in the Champions League, and that was against Qarabağ, who are not a world-class team. So I think we need to beat them at Anfield, and also we need to keep a clean sheet if we want to advance. But this will be a titanic two-legged affair. Roma will also fancy their chances, because Roma also wanted to avoid Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. But the big advantage for Liverpool is that Roma have to go all out in all their remaining games, because they are level on points with Lazio in third and fourth place in the Serie A, and Inter are just 1 point behind them, and only 2 places are up for grabs for those 3 teams. So Roma cannot rest players, and I think that will be a huge factor coming into this Champions League semi-final, because Roma have 3 games until the Champions League semi-final first leg. They play Lazio away, then they play Genoa at home, and Spal away from home, and then Liverpool. So they are having games every 3 days until the Champions League first leg. On the other hand, Liverpool only have 2 games, and we have a week's break between the Liverpool-Bournemouth and the West Brom-Liverpool game. So I think that will be a big factor. And also the fact that Liverpool are almost certain to finish in the top 4. I think if we beat Bournemouth and Chelsea drop points, we are literally there in the Champions League, guaranteed next season. On the other hand, Roma will have to go all out in all their games, because Lazio went out of the Europa League. Inter are not in Europe, so Lazio and Inter don't have European games. So I think that will be a factor. But Roma have a very solid team. They have, as I said, beaten Chelsea 3-0. They have beaten Barcelona 3-0 at home. So Liverpool will not take them lightly. The big story, of course, is Mohamed Salah, the former player, going back to Roma, and I really hope that he can score either in the Olimpico or at Anfield. Salah is on 39 goals, which is just mind-blowing. Only Ronaldo scored more goals than him, and that's just remarkable. And as I said, the big factor will be, I think, that Roma have a lot of games until the Champions League semi-final first leg. I think their player of the season is actually their Brazilian goalkeeper Alisson, who weirdly has been linked with Liverpool many times this season, and I will keep a close eye on him and how he performs. But against Barcelona in both games, he performed brilliantly. And Roma have a very strong spine throughout their team. They have Alisson, a quite world-class and Brazilian #1 goalkeeper, and that says it all, because Ederson is also Brazilian, the Man City goalkeeper, and Alisson is ahead of him in the pecking order in the Brazilian national team. They also have Manolas, a colossal centre-back, and he scored a brilliant goal that knocked out Barcelona, so his confidence will be sky high. They have De Rossi, the captain, a Roma legend, in midfield. They have Raja Nainggolan, Strootman, so their midfield is rock solid and very strong. And of course they have Edin Dzeko, who is playing in the form of his life, and Edin Dzeko, I think, is the second top scorer in the Serie A, if I'm not mistaken. And also they have Cengiz Ünder, an upcoming Turkish young talent, who actually whipped in the corner that knocked out Barcelona. Italian expert Jack Rathbone says, and I quote him, Di Francesco, the Roma manager, adores 4-3-3, so it was a big change to go with a back three against Barcelona. He showed his team the Barca-Chelsea tie to show the route to success. This was uncharacteristic but a bold move, because against Chelsea they also went with three at the back and they won both games 3-0. So I think Liverpool should look out for a three at the back formation. But of course Man City played with three at the back at the Etihad in the quarter-final second leg, and Liverpool still beat them. So I think Liverpool can play against three at the back formations. They also have Kolarov, an aging left back. The key, I think, will be whether Liverpool can exploit the space behind the Roma fullbacks. But the thing is that Roma won't go all-out attack in either of the games. I think they will be a very, very measured, very tactical performance, and the Serie A sides usually are very tactical, and Roma as well. So I think Liverpool will have to be at their best if we want to knock out Roma. Just one bad game in the Champions League and you are basically out. That's the biggest I think the biggest factor in the competition. And the Stadio Olimpico is a legendary stadium, 70,000 capacity, and I think it will be packed full to the rafters, because Roma haven't played the Champions League semi-final ever in their, I mean, since the Champions League came into effect in 1993, I think. And there was, of course, a famous European Cup final, Champions League final in 1984, which Liverpool won on penalties in Rome against Roma. So I think they will want revenge for that. We have met them since in the Champions League and in the UEFA Cup, and we won both games. I mean, we won 2 games, drawn one and lost one. So overall, Liverpool's record against Roma is 3 Liverpool wins, 1 draw and 1 loss, if you don't count friendlies. But in the last 6 years or 7 years, we played 3 friendlies against Roma and we lost all of them. Of course, they were only friendlies, so we shouldn't read too much into that, but I found that surprising when I checked the statistics. So the atmosphere in both games will be incredible. I think the Stadio Olimpico can be as intimidating as Anfield, and I'm really looking forward to the Champions semi-finals. I already have goosebumps just thinking about that, because boy, I have waited 10 years for this. And when was the last time Roma were in the Champions League semi-finals? I think 1984 probably, when they lost the final to Liverpool. Since then I cannot remember when they were in the Champions League semi-finals, and this is just a huge game for both sides, and whoever makes it to the Champions League final will be the biggest surprise and the biggest shock, the biggest surprise package. There is always one team who does a big surprise in the Champions League, and this year it will be either Roma or Liverpool. Hell, it's even a surprise that both teams made it to the Champions League semi-finals, because before the season began I don't think anyone gave Roma or Liverpool a chance. I always fancied Liverpool in Europe, because we always have a special bond, a special connection with the Champions League. But in recent seasons, especially under Brendan Rodgers, I lost faith in Liverpool's European performances. But with Jurgen Klopp, that faith is back. Jurgen Klopp, in his opening press conference, in his first ever press conference as Liverpool manager, he said we need to turn from doubters into believers, and I firmly turned into a believer, because Jurgen Klopp could guide Liverpool to their 2nd European final in 3 years, which would be remarkable. We lost the Europa League final against Sevilla, which that game still hurts, because in the first half we could have been 3-0 up, but we weren't. The referee didn't give 2 clear penalties to Liverpool, and second half Liverpool collapsed and Sevilla won the game, fully deserved, no complaints. It's just a big regret for me. But then we had a season without European football and we finished 4th only just, and qualified for the Champions League via the playoff. Remember, the Liverpool had to play a playoff against Hoffenheim to actually get into the Champions League group stages. So Liverpool with a long road, and we are in contention for the Champions League final. And I actually heard that now Liverpool are the favorites for the Champions League trophy with Real Madrid. Liverpool and Real Madrid have the same odds for winning the Champions League. Before the draw, it was very interesting because before the draw, Liverpool were only the third favorites to win the Champions League. But I guess Bayern Munich and Real Madrid being drawn against each other, and that tie is 50-50, anybody can go through. And I'm just so happy that we avoided both Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, because honestly, if I listen to my head and not my heart, both Real Madrid and Bayern Munich are quite a lot stronger than Liverpool. Of course, Liverpool are in great form, we are full of confidence, but we have a lot of injuries. We only have one fit right back because both Klein and Joe Gomez are out injured. I just heard today that Klein is injured again after just one game back. He got injured in training the day after the Man City game. So we only have Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I really hope that Joe Gomez comes back fast, or Nathan Klein as well, because we need more than one fullback for the next few weeks. So Liverpool have Bournemouth at home, and then West Brom away from home, and then the AS Roma game. And I think Liverpool should rest players against West Brom. Against Bournemouth we can go all out because we still have a full week between the Bournemouth and West Brom games, and then after the West Brom game we have 3 days until the AS Roma first leg at Anfield, and Anfield will be rocking. That will be a special European night, and I will do Fanzone live reactions for that game as well. Then we have a Stoke game at home. I think we will rest some players for that game, because by that time I think top 4 will be almost certainly over. And then we have the AS Roma second leg in Rome. On the other hand, Roma, as I already said, they have quite a lot of really tough games, and they also still have to play Lazio and Juventus in the race for the top 4 in the Serie A. So Roma cannot take any game lightly, and I'm not sure how big their squad is, but I can't imagine that they have 2 players in every position with the same quality. So I think Roma's squad will be stretched. But Roma are very strong at home, so I think the key will be to get a good lead at Anfield, hopefully maybe a 1 or 2 goal lead, and then we can go to the Olimpico. But even if we win by 3 clear goals at Anfield, we cannot say that we are in the final, because Roma can beat Liverpool 3-0 or 4-0 at home. If they can beat Barcelona and Chelsea by this scoreline, they can beat anyone, in my opinion. So Roma are a very good team in the best form of their season. Liverpool are also a very good team with the best form of their season. So I'm really looking forward to this semi-final, and I think it's 50-50. Even though many Liverpool fans are celebrating the draw, that we are in the final, we shouldn't say that, honestly. We should be humble and we should respect Roma, because they earned that respect by getting here. No team is an easy draw in the Champions League semi-finals, no matter what. Of course, I'm happy because it will be easier for Liverpool to get to the final if it is against Roma and not Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. And let's listen to what Jurgen Klopp had to say about the draw. He said just after the draw finished, and I quote, "It was not that I thought, thank God not Bayern, thank God not Real Madrid, yippee Roma, or the other way around. It is just the draw, and I know it is very exciting, but it is good, because the most important news is that we are still in the competition." And Klopp also said this: "Whichever opponent we would have got, I would have said there is a chance, because it is football, so there is a chance against Roma. But if anybody thinks this is the easiest draw, then I cannot help this person. They obviously didn't see both games against Barcelona." And that's true. Jurgen Klopp has a very good point, because Roma actually played very well in the Nou Camp. They didn't deserve to lose by 4 goals, and at home they could have beaten Barcelona by 4 or 5 goals. They were that good. Klopp said this just to reiterate what I was saying here. In the first result, the 4-1, it was not like the game was. It was Messi genius against the good side of Roma. The second leg was outstanding. It was outstanding what they did. They should have probably won 4 or 5-0. I was really impressed. And those are the words of Jurgen Klopp. It is work and no problem with that. And now we are looking forward, of course, to the first game. So really looking forward to the game as well, not just Jurgen Klopp, but myself and millions of Liverpool fans around the world. So bring it on, come on Liverpool! Oh, I dropped my phone, sorry about that. Thanks for watching guys, stay awesome, see you later, goodbye!